Hi, everyone. Welcome this evening to Write Your Own Rules webinar. And thank you for coming here to celebrate my birthday with me. It means so much. I even brought cake. My daughter made it. I just want to welcome you this evening. I'm really excited to be here. I've had the best birthday week, and I am just feeling so excited about where I'm at in my life this year. Well, I guess just the start of this year and where I've been in the past year. And I just want to share some of how all this has happened for me and how I got here. And so let's get started. I wanted to start us off by reading a tarot card and just pulling that to really center in and ground in this evening. This is from the Fallon Tarot deck, which my beautiful friend got me as a gift, and I just love it so much. So I'm gonna just shuffle these cards, and I always like to, while I shuffle tarot, just think about what I need right now, what I can share, what's gonna really just be what I need to hear. If you don't know me, then tarot is something that I really enjoy. I actually write a blog every Friday based on a tarot card I pull, and then just share a little bit about life and what comes up for me when I see that card. So if you want to check in on that, you can always check my website. It's www.birchandbasil.com. And under the blog section, you'll see a weekly-ish blog come out on Fridays about tarot. So let's pull one of these cards and see what comes up for us this evening. So today we got the 7 of coins. So coins are always kind of about art or creativity or your profession. So that seems very appropriate since this evening I'm going to be offering you a coaching program that I've been working on for about 6 months and I'm so excited about. So I'm going to read straight from this book because they have amazing descriptions of the cards. 7 is patient resolve. With dirty hands and rolled up sleeves, the farmer assesses his creation. He recalls the process that brought these seeds dirty, the time, money, and effort it took to bring them to full growth. Your work may be nearly complete, and you desperately crave the reward, but you must still acknowledge that work done well takes time and often has its own schedule. Something in your heart tells you that your fruits have not been fully ripened. Be patient and keep working. Your wait is almost over. Oh my gosh, this is why I love tarot, is because that is so appropriate for tonight. That kind of touches on some of the stuff we're going to talk about this evening. And obviously we're talking about the journey and where I've been on my path in the past year. And it really is such a journey. And there's challenges, there's beautiful bright skies sometimes, there's storms, there's all of it. And sometimes I do just want to take a break and stop. And, sometimes the storms are so rough and, it feels like the journey is never going to end and you're never going to be there. And the truth is, there's not really an ending point. It's life. This is a journey and we have to learn to love every part of it. But we can be really conscious on the paths we choose. We can be really conscious about, the guides we follow. We can choose our North Star and keep that aligned with our purpose so that we're really staying clear while we're on our path, and work really hard to get the fruits of our labor. But we have to be patient and we have to really wait for life to unfold as it does and just enjoy the journey and enjoy the process, but definitely celebrate where we've been and we've done to get here. So we're going to do a little bit of all of that this evening. Definitely some celebrations, and definitely talk about some of the harder parts too. So I wanted to really get into where I was at last year on my birthday, which was such a different place than this birthday. I really, it's just incredible. And I think that that's why I've had such a great birthday week. It was so great to finally wake up this year on my birthday and just realize I'm where I want to be. It wasn't last year this time on my birthday, I was just examining, you know, all of the hard work. And I was definitely feeling like I was not seeing any of the fruits of my labor. And I was just concentrating on the struggles and the hard parts of it, and just feeling in such a state of struggle and not seeing where it was going to end. And I just felt like it was another year that I was just not where I wanted to be in my life. And I knew something had to change. And I was already on that path towards changing. I had been really, you know, working hard for a while to do things differently and start creating a life that I really loved. But it's such a process, and it takes a long time, and every step of the way, you know, is worthwhile. And so I just have spent this birthday feeling the exact opposite, where I was like, oh my gosh, there's still so far to go, but I'm just so excited about where I'm at, and just feeling really proud, and I'm feeling really blissful, and I'm feeling really grateful, and just so grateful for this opportunities with you guys. So we're going to talk a little bit about writing your own rules, obviously, since this webinar is designed to be about that. And that's what the program I'm going to be offering at the end of this webinar is also about. It's a 3-month coaching program, and I'll tell you all the details at the end. But I want to give you a little sneak peek in case you're here and wondering if you're in the right place. This program and this way of living is really for like my badass babes out there. They're trying to do things their own way. They want to gain fulfillment in their lives by being 100% their authentic selves in all areas, and really just finding the path to creating a life that they genuinely love. So that's what we're going to be discussing, how to get there. So for me, I just want to say it doesn't always look the way we were told it was going to look. We aren't even really set up for realizing that sometimes we think it's going to look a certain way and it doesn't, and that can be really hard. Excuse me. Oh, with the rain, my allergies just really decided to come out today. So I wanted to, as an example of that, really talk about one of these goals I set for myself in my past year. And so this was in the beginning of 2015. One of my goals was to live the healthy lifestyle I dream of, love myself and love my life. And I can really say that I did accomplish that goals in a lot of ways. But when I wrote that, I had such a different vision for what it would look like than what it does look like. And that feels exciting. In a lot of ways, it feels a little scary. You know, if I had known that, then I would have been confused. But it's because I've stayed on the journey, stayed present, and really worked with myself, worked with life to create rules for myself that actually work, not something I thought I should be, or was trying to create that maybe wasn't actually aligned with myself. And what I mean by that is, I guess, that we are just given rules our whole lives. We're told how to live by our parents, by society, through schools and teachers, ex-boyfriends, older siblings, grandparents. All these people are always telling us, you know, how to live our lives, what life should look like when we're happy. You know, some of us are still coming from, you know, the thought process that we should be married by a certain age and have kids by a certain age, and we should have a job that makes this much, and this is what it all looks like. You know, a job like mine as a holistic lifestyle coach is just so different than what I was told growing up would be a successful and fulfilling job. And that's, you know, I had to go out and really decide what I wanted and what was right for me, and then set up my life for that. And that's some of what we're going to do tonight, and also what I'm going to be offering this program and what I offer as a holistic lifestyle coach. I'm here to tell you that you can love life and you can design the life you want. It is yours. Our circumstances, our past, those rules that we have been told are our lives, they're not what make up our life. We make up our life. They do not dictate it unless we let it dictate it. That's when we have to really step in and be present and decide what we want for ourselves. And I think that really starts exactly like that with ourselves. We have to accept ourselves, accept where we're at. And accepting, I don't mean that in a way of defeat. I mean that in a way of to stop pushing and just let things flow, open up to opportunity, let the lessons come. And that's part of being present. And I think that acceptance and seeing where we're at, you know, can mean a lot of things. For me, last year on my birthday, it was accepting I was in a hard place and I had a lot to do to get where I wanted to be. And I had to make a lot of decisions to get myself there. And all of those decisions weren't easy, and some of them were, but either way, they were aligned with what I wanted. And I knew I had to move through, you know, that hard spot I was at and accept that. But no, you know, I had to accept that I also had to do the work to move through it. So we really have to start deciding what we want through getting to know ourselves. And I think that really starts with tuning into what we need, what we desire, what we want out of our lives. And that really helps us start loving ourselves. And I think when we start to change ourselves and start to love ourselves, that's when the bigger picture starts to change. So for me, it was simple things. And this is kind of one of my rules I came up with in the past year, was asking myself every day what I need and giving it to myself, which is now just, it's a normal concept to me. But at the time when I started implementing this, it was completely not. It seemed so foreign. I have been so used to giving to others for my whole life. The giving myself when I needed was something I didn't even see as an option. And so when I started giving myself what I need, I really started to truly show myself love. And that's when I started to love myself. And that's when I started to also believe in love and then see more of it. And then next thing you know, like, love is everywhere in my life. Oh my gosh, this birthday, I feel so loved. So that's just one example, but I really do want to stress that we're starting with ourselves before we change anything else. We're going to look internally in this program. I really use, I make it 3 months because we go through a set of 6 coaching calls that go over the 3 months. And the first month we concentrate on our body. The second month we concentrate on our mind. And the third month we concentrate on our energy. And I really think those 3 things combined helps us align for a bigger picture. And so I do truly believe we have to start with ourselves. So we're going to be talking a lot about that throughout this program if you join me. So we're going to talk about what rules that are not ours to start off with, and where they came from, and figuring some of that out. It doesn't necessarily matter as much where they came from, but that they are not serving us. When we realize that they are no longer serving us and we have to release them, then we are able to create freedom in our lives. Because when we're living by rules that aren't ours, we're fighting ourselves. We're essentially fighting life. And that's an unhealthy form of rebellion. All these write your own rules programs for me are like what I call a healthy rebellion. We're choosing to do things differently, but we're choosing to do them for ourselves in a positive way. So when we create rules that feel aligned for ourselves, we start living more fully and living in devotion to ourselves, which means when we want something, we're going to get it because we are living aligned with ourselves. And so what it means to write your own rules is to really start shifting your story and start shifting your beliefs. As I talked about, you know, the idea of giving to myself was so foreign because I was so used to giving to others. And I kind of told myself the story, and was probably told from some people throughout my life, that life was hard, that you had to work at everything, that it was struggle, that relationships were hard, that everything was so hard. And so I lived like that, you know, I believed that story. That story was mine because, you know, when we really take on certain stories that we've grown up and we've been telling ourselves from our past, from our circumstance, from family situations, from things that have happened to us, you know, we start kind of living into that story without even seeing it. And so I was living in a state of struggle all the time. I was actually making things harder for myself than they needed to be. by living in that story. So one of the ways I shifted that story was to start telling myself life could be easy and fun and feel good. And that's when I had to start asking myself every day, what does feel good? What do I need? And actually give it to myself. So that's an example of something we're going to be doing when we work together in this program. And so for me, some of my rules I've come up with over the past year, I just want to give you some examples of other ones, are trusting myself and trusting the process, trusting this journey. Because as I gave the example with love, like the more I trust myself, the more I can start trusting others. And that was something I had to do to heal and learn how to trust more people in my life. And that started with myself as well. So I also created some other rules, such as, just that I have what I need. It already exists, it's not something I have to seek out, that I need to be struggling to get to. And it's such this battle, and also that there is, healing and opportunity available, and that it's available if I open up to it. And so that's where I started really also making one of my rules that I need to be present and open. And so I practice that every day, and that's something I'm really big into, because I just feel like the more open we are and the more we can let things flow, we start to accept where we're at, as we talked about earlier. We start to be able to release our old stories, as we talked about. And then that's when we open ourselves up to what is new for us, and really let it become true. We get to see what can happen in life then. And that's just where I think, we really need to get to start looking at the bigger picture of our lives, and, letting go of our past, our circumstances, releasing those old stories, getting out of that state of struggle, and getting in tune with our own needs, our own desires. And then we can start figuring out how to really fulfill ourselves. And once we kind of figure all of this out and get in tune with our needs and desires, it's part of actually starting to live them. And that's why I call myself a lifestyle coach, is because it's about creating a different lifestyle. It's about really putting these things into practice every day, because it's not like we get to decide, I love myself, and just decide it that day. It's a practice every day, especially when, no matter what age we are, we've been being told something our whole lives, and we're trying to shift that. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's also why this is a 3-month program. It's because it takes time to really start aligning this lifestyle with everything that's going on in our lives. So for me, that's one of the things I've done in the past year, is really just putting into practice how I want to live. And that doesn't look the same every day. When I wrote that goal about living this healthy lifestyle I love, I think I imagined that I was going to be waking up every day at like 6 a.m. and making fresh green juice and doing yoga and meditating and journaling, and, all before my kids got up. And I think that's what I imagine happening. And granted, that happens a lot of days. I do, love all those things, and they are part of my life, but it doesn't happen every day. And that's where I started really, really getting in tune with myself, was letting go of even these stories that I had created, that weren't even stories I was necessarily told that's how you should live, but then stories that when I visioned people that were super healthy, that's what I visioned. And so I created that's how I had to be. So for a while, I actually think I held myself back, because I was trying to be this perfect, healthy thing I'd created in my head of what I had to be. And when I wasn't living up to that, I was getting really hard on myself. And then that got me back into a state of struggle and not feeling in tune. And so that's when the self-love really became important, was when you love yourself enough to really forgive yourself for the ways you maybe didn't show up how you wanted to in your past, in your present. You can forgive yourself every day. And I think that was really important for me, was to say, it's okay that I'm not doing this every day, because what I am doing is showing up for myself. And I think that's one of the most important things we can do is just show up and be present and open like we talked about. And I think when we do that and we choose to just show up as ourselves, we're living in authenticity, and that's where we find integrity. That's where we really see the devotion to ourselves. And when we live authentically, what comes out of that is alignment, and that's when we start really being able to create the life we want to live. And so we need to open up to finding ourselves in a deep way, really getting to heal some of those old wounds, really getting to discover where our creativity lies, where our desires lie, where our needs lie, and figuring out how to meet them in a way that feels really good for us, and not good like, oh, I don't feel like going to work today, I'm gonna lay around and watch Netflix. Granted, sometimes that's awesome, but we definitely need that sometimes. I needed that a couple days this past month. But and like just choosing to do what feels good in the way that we know we're working towards a life we love, and we're doing what's, actually supporting us and actually supporting our beliefs. And that's where the practice comes in, of really showing up for yourself and practicing letting go of these old stories and practicing tuning into what you need. And so we do that by creating like routines and rituals. And like I talked about, I thought my routine was going to be something totally different than it is now. My routine in the morning is pretty simple. I pull a tarot card. I make my tea. I do most times do about 10 minutes of some movement just to wake up and get myself moving. And then, I relax. I normally give myself about 20 minutes to kind of read, check out my day. And it's a lot looser than I thought it was going to be. But doing, rituals that work for you, and that's part of my program, and that's why I call it, the Write Your Own Rules program, is because this is about you. I'm not the wellness coach that's going to tell you, you have to drink green juice every day and do this much, and you can't drink ever, or, no coffee or whatever it is. I really, I obviously have cake while I'm saying that, all of this next to me. And so I want to make stuff that works for us while is also aligned with our goals and our desires and what we need, while taking care of ourselves and showing ourselves love. So we're going to get really into what it means to do things your own way and how that can benefit you in this program. And just really, it's about you. And that's what I think I discovered in this past year that was so important, is that it's my life and I get to choose how, I live it, and that I really want to live it fully and be present. And there's always going to be circumstances that are not exactly how I want them to be, but I can choose how I react. I can choose what I get from them. I can choose to heal from them. I can, again, just show up and be present. And that's so important. So I just really want to stress that that's what we're going to be doing throughout this program, is tuning into you and what you need and desire. And then through that, we're going to help you figure out how to create a life in that path. And so let's talk about a little bit what we're going to do in this program. So as I said, it's 3 months, and the 3 months will be kind of separated into different areas. So the first month, we're going to be discussing the body and really tuning into what's going on in your body. So I call month 1 the Warrior Princess month, and we'll be focusing on becoming powerful while feeling beautiful, excuse me, in our body by taking leadership of our health, wellness, and lifestyle. So we'll be covering self-care, self-love, movement, eating habits, reducing stress, and creating routine and ritual. In the second month, which I call the Rebellious Soul, we will be focusing on your mindset. So we will embrace your inner rebel so that you can find the freedom to live life by your rules while establishing a strong foundation to build your life on. So during the second month, we'll work a lot with affirmations, setting intentions, expressing gratitude, following our desires, really aligning our values, authentic goal setting, building your vision, aligning a life of attraction. Because as I talked about earlier, you know, what you give yourself and what you see in life is what's going to come back to you. You know, the more I love myself, the more I see love, and the more I get love back. And then in the third month, when we discuss energy, I call this the total effing goddess month. So we'll be taking on goddess status as we focus on energy. Here's where we get real, dig deep in your true self to discover and expose your brilliance and let the world see what you can do when you do things your own way. So in this month, we're going to be discussing your passion, your really getting in tune with that. We'll be discussing community support, sisterhood, all about receiving, because we have to be able to receive before we can give, and we'll giving. Because a lot of this does come down to, you know, the age-old saying of you can't give from a glass half empty. And you can see that as half full, but I choose to say let's fill it up before we give more, so we can give from a place of wholeness. We don't want to give from a place of lack. We don't want to give from a place of struggle. You're going to watch me carry my computer as I let my dog up into my room, who won't stop barking because she's a spoiled little baby. And so really the third month's going to be about creating an authentic lifestyle, one that's genuine, one that feels good, one that's aligned for you, and is really the life you want to be living, the life you love, because that's the choice we're making by joining this program, by living this way, by showing up and being present, is we're choosing to love ourselves, we're choosing to love our life, we're choosing to create a life we love. So in this 3-month program, you're going to get 2 60-minute coaching sessions with me per month. So that'll be 6 sessions total. You'll also get an email with those sessions. So the week we have our sessions each month, you'll get an email from me with your accountability, with support, with notes from the call. So you can just sit back and relax, and I'll do all the work of writing everything down so we can keep track of this awesome progress you're going to be going through. And you can really, at the end of the 3 months, read back, and it's crazy what you'll see sometimes from the first call. And so with that, I also normally in my notes like to include a lot of questions for you to think about in between our calls, for you to journal on, things for you to kind of really be considering, and help you keep on that mindset path of changing to be in alignment with yourself. I also really want to create a private Facebook group for us badass babes that are trying to live by our own rules, so that we can really be there for us, supporting each other, and also feel that community and be able to give back to you, because that feels so good. So that's the program. I am going to be offering this program for $475, but if you sign up in the first week, I'm going to offer it for $400. So you'll get a discount for signing up in the next week, so by March 17th. And the program is going to start on April 1st. So before then, please get in touch with me if you are interested, because I will offer a free 30-minute call for us to get to know each other, for us to decide if this program's right for you. I really want this program to feel aligned, and I want you to feel like I'm the right coach for you. So if all of this sounds great, please send me an email, which is mscourtneysage@gmail.com, mscourtneysage@gmail.com. And if you email me, then we can start talking over email, and also set up a time for us to have a 30-minute chat and decide if this is right for you and get you signed up. I'll be doing a lot of those calls March 20th through the 23rd. So we'll take a look at those dates if you want to look at your calendar, but please get in touch with me before then to schedule. There's also some scheduling available, and more information about me if you want to look into more of what I do. My website is www.birchandbasil.com, and you can check me out there. Check out my blog on Fridays. There's some info about massage. I also am a licensed massage therapist if you're interested in that. And soon there'll be the sales page for this program. So if you wanted to reread any of the information that we talked about tonight on this program, it'll be there. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited to share all of this with you. I am so excited to just be where I'm at and be helping people and be able to serve more people and get more people to this point in their life, because oh my goodness, when you make all these changes, when you start showing up for yourself, it feels incredible. And I just want everybody to be able to experience this. So please join me. I also do have to say I only have 5 spots open currently for this program. So if you are interested, get in touch soon. And I look forward to hearing from you. Have an awesome night. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Be well.